All right, calm down, playlist. It's Alec Gunter, okay? We don't need to go that hard. How are we all? Nah, I'm thinking more Kingsfield. Let's do... There we go. That's more my mood right now. How are we all? Now, I'm not 100% sure what we're covering tonight. Alec wanted to talk, and I was going to spend this time redoing the edit for the ContraPoints video because it was processing wrong. But, I guess we're doing this now instead, which is fine. I'll do that later. The ContraPoints video will be up tomorrow morning. Sorry about that. I'm using a really old, horribly sabotaged editing software called Power Director. It used to be pretty good because it was very simple and accessible for tech morons like me. But, they ruined it, and it literally has clips that I cut out from the timeline. It's like, what the hell? I did a full preview of it in the editor. Wasn't there. Publish it, and I've got like a failed thing where I was like trying to get my fingers in the right place for the snap. Didn't work. So that'll be up soon. More troops sent to Middle East. I think it's happening. Think of what's happening. I got some bad news for you, bucko. It's been happening for a little while. Okay. Yeah, so this is from today. Oh. Why is that not showing up? Why is that not showing up? Oh, because I'm using the wrong one. That's why. There we go. And that just... we're just going with the gray square today, Reuters? Okay, that's cool. Thousands of additional Marines and sailors heading to Middle East. Adds to more than 50,000 troops in the region already. Marines can be used for multiple reasons, including going on land. It's dumb. It's really dumb. Am I losing sleep over this? Not particularly. Because I'm in Canada. But also, I think it's good for Americans to have a little bit of a stake in this if they're going to bomb the bejesus out of civilians. What are we talking to Alec about? Well, he wanted to call in, remember? He wanted to talk about, I guess, my criticisms of that, debunking transphobia, or debunking hypocritical video they all did. And I am so under the weather today, you have no idea, guys. I have no sleep. I'm feeling dreadful, so, you know, it'll be an even fight. This is really bad? Well, it's all really bad, King Gross. I'm not disagreeing with you. But if you want me to go, game over, man! Game over! It's like, I'm sorry, it's been over for a little while. If you were hoping to avoid bad things happening, you're in the wrong timeline. Have you seen the clip of the Finnish Prime Minister being asked why he isn't leveraging sending aid to Ukraine in return for assistance in the Strait of Hormuz? And I did not see that. I heard about it. I did see the clip. I did see the clip of Donald Trump justifying not telling his allies about the attack on Iran, with the Japanese PM right beside him going, "Yeah, you guys know about surprises. You know how important those are. Remember Pearl Harbor?" It's like, she looks so uncomfortable. That was great, honestly. It was great. Oh, she deserved it. She deserved it. Japanese PM. Huh, why didn't that work? I wonder if it needs to be, if I need to be logged in. Oh, that didn't work. Zelensky isn't far right, though. Define far right. Like, I don't regard people as being right-wing or left-wing, depending on whether or not they are, like, you know, aesthetic radical traditionalists or whatever. I consider it in terms of what they do. So. I don't know. There's also a point where it doesn't matter. Anyways. We're dilly-dallying. God help me, I can't even remember what the criticism was. So we'll see. We'll let him complain and then we'll respond to that. Safe strategy. Okay. In the meantime, let's watch this guy kick a bear. Or your super chat's not working? I'm not sure. It might pop up in a second. Sometimes there's a delay. Thank you for the $5. They're going to have to bring back the draft. Iran needs 1 million to occupy entire country. Only 1.33 active military. It's really happening. They're not going to occupy the country. It would destroy the Republican Party forever. That's not going to happen. Then again, your country's full of people like this, so I don't know. Yeah, you literally kicked a bear. This guy found a bear in the woods. And thought, should have worn pants today, Pooh. Look at that delay. It can't even process it. It's like, you serious? That is a person who votes. Well, I mean, I don't know if he votes anymore. But I suppose he could have voted at one point in time before the bear ate him. Anywho. Apparently, Hutch is having a bunch of communism debates with Straighterade and Josiah. I'm a little bit tempted to watch those. I'm tempted to watch those because they tend to be good launching points for ways people are talking about everything wrong. Communist streamer fails to explain how our system works. All right, let's see.
How do you solve the
Let's see this. We're just waiting for Alec.
problem of like supply? Is there currency? So there's no currency in your system, or is there?
No currency, ideally. No.
All right, so let's say you decide I want an 80-inch TV in every single room, and then a bunch of other people have the same thought. There's just a permanent TV shortage. Would you ration?
Editor. That's the thumbnail shot. When we get to it. Oh, looks like Alec wants to go. Fuck. I don't want to do this anymore. I've got butterflies in my stomach. I'm nervous. Alright, here we go. Sure thing. Yes. Should pop my virtual camera on. Boop. Boop. Here we go. I'm like on 2 HP right now. You can do it Sunday, I believe in you. No, I can't. This is the end. I'm gonna get totally pwned. I'll never come back from this. Why on earth? Okay, I wanna see if I can't get this to work. Let's see. Payment history. No, that's not working. Relays. Activity feed. Okay, let's try replaying this. See if that works. Really? Really? Why is that? Let's try refreshing the cache. Let's try turning this one off. Maybe it's because I have 2 of them on. Okay, let's go to the overlays. This is getting really frustrating. Alright. Let's emulate a $10 tip. Let's see if that works. That works.
Gwyneth tipped $10.
Gwyneth didn't. That's a lie. So that is not... That one's fine. Gangers, did you use Stream Elements? That one also should be working. TTS settings. I don't know. That's odd. That's very odd. Let's try this again. Can I replay this? Now will it work? Now it works.
At Gengaros330 super chatted $5. They are gonna have to bring back the draft.
There we go. Sorry about
Iran
that,
needs
Gengaros.
1 million to occupy entire country, only 1.33 active military. It's really happening.
They're not going to institute the draft. And they're not going to occupy the country. They can't. They're not going to get to that point. There's no political will for it. It'd be over. It'd be over. Chris Hedges has a good video about the 1 million number Iran. I don't take Chris Hedges very seriously, to be honest with you. Oh, Alec Gunter's got a pee. It looks like I'm not the only one who's got nerves. Okay, here we go. It's that part of the date where our shoes brushed under the counter, and now we're just both incredibly nervous.
These kinds of things. If you gave me
So
a system,
you think if there was no money, people would want the TV in every room, including the bathroom?
Absolutely.
I don't think so much. No,
I would 1000% would want an 80-inch TV in every room if they were
Read a book.
free.
Oh, well, if you're okay, this is all just projection, and this is you telling me about your TV plans and communism and how you intend to take advantage of the system. Then sure, I'll have to think harder on that one, on how to prevent Hutch from getting a TV in every single room in his house.
Well, you'd come up with a currency, and then you would have a market solution to these kinds of problems. I mean, you would have to ration things, right? Like everybody gets a coupon for one TV or something like that.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Lately, I've noticed you on this big, we have to be kind of really, really stand true and committed to liberalism, liberal principles, and these are going to be the sorts of things that give...
Don't be nervous, there's no one judging you. I am a YouTuber, everyone's judging me, and justifiably so. Oh, here we go. Well, hi ho, neighborino. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
Oh, I feel like death, but that's the usual. Let me pop you on the screen here.
You're a little quiet. Is there any way you can turn it up on your end? I'm going to turn it up on mine too.
I'll figure that out in a second. Might just be a Discord thing. We'll work it out. We'll work it out. We'll get there. Chat, am I quiet on my end? Testing, testing. Looks like I'm in the red here.
I think that's better.
I didn't do anything yet. Let me figure
really?
this out.
Okay, never mind. Then it's not better.
It's got the right input. Testing, testing, testing. I turn crisp off, see if that works. How's that? Is that better? Testing, testing.
Can you test? I think it's better.
You think it's better?
Pretty sure. I'll turn you up as much as I can. Okay.
I kind of need you to know, Alec. No, it's okay. If it's better, it's better.
Okay.
Let's see how your levels are doing. Okay, that's good. I'll boost my mic a little bit. Maybe that'll help.
Sure.
How's that? Good?
Okay, I do think that's better. Yep.
Okay.
You're good.
All right.
Okay,
sweet.
cool.
Okay.
All right.
What up,
I didn't
G?
catch that. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine. How are you?
Fine. All things considered, you know, personal life, slowly. Oh, thank you for the $5, Maggles. Appreciate you.
What the hell? Where's my $5?
Yeah, you know, I don't feel like messing with the lights. It's fine. Unless it's going to distract
No,
you.
no, you're fine. You're fine. You're good.
Okay, cool. I appreciate the advice, though.
I'm just.
All right, so
go for it.
let's just get right to it then. I, you know, went over the video that you made.
Okay.
I didn't.
So you have me at a disadvantage. So you'll have to remind me of what I said.
Oh, sure. It just seems like, well, first of all, the first thing you said about it was that I was using AI. I wanted to dispel that real quick. People know my feelings on AI. I guess I could say it till the cows come home. But there's also video evidence of me coming up with the script. So I just thought that was interesting that you just threw that accusation out there. I didn't understand that one.
It sounded like AI. So I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, it was scripted. So, like, you know, I sound different when I read a script versus when I'm just talking freely.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it. The script sounded like AI then. I'm not saying you're using AI. I'm just saying it sounded like AI. It might have been better if you used AI. I don't know.
I mean, I don't like AI, so even if that's true, I'm just going to avoid it. But
I don't either. Cheers.
All right. Well, we agree on that at least. So, beyond that, I guess it just kind of seemed like I got this impression that you agreed with some things that I was saying, but I wasn't saying them smartly enough. That's the impression.
My memory's not that fuzzy. I don't think I was disagreeing with how smartly you were saying it. I think I was disagreeing with the substance of what you were saying.
Okay, like, okay. Since you don't remember that well, I can pull up a specific part if you want. Maybe we could even watch it together.
Be my guest.
But, I mean, if you want to.
Not really, to be honest with you. If you know it off the top of your head, we can just talk about it. We don't really need to do a big production.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let me think.
I mean, I could spitball a little bit. Like, I think you basically assimilated, and I'm pretty sure you got this from Vosh, but I don't know for certain. The idea that gender identity is entirely the product of essentially self-ascription. Am I making sense? You say you're a thing, you think you're a thing, therefore you're a thing. Am I misremembering?
I didn't say that it's the. Well, I didn't say that it's the product of self-description. I was saying that's the only way we can intuit somebody else's gender properly is if they tell us.
Did you say that's how we intuit it? That's what you said. You were talking. Okay, so were you talking about what makes?
I misspoke.
That's okay.
So you intuit it just automatically, right?
Well, when you're talking about
you have to ascertain.
Yeah.
I used the wrong word. Ascertain is what I meant.
Okay, but when ascertain, intuit, whatever you like, I don't really care about that. The point though is that you're talking in a key where we're talking about a third party clocking someone's gender from the outside. We're not talking about what makes a gender identity valid. We're talking about how do you identify who is what? Like, on what basis do you use, like, given pronouns, whatever? And you would, just as a matter of, you know, basic politeness, you would go with the one that the person tells you to use. Right?
Well, yeah, and I recognize all the time that when you go out into public, you make an assumption. I think I said that in the video. You know, you go out into public, you make an assumption about somebody's gender, and usually you're right. because that person will be presenting a certain way.
Sure.
And there are certain features about them that can help you intuit. The word comes up again. What gender this person probably identifies as, and you will be right most of the time.
Sure, but you're wrong. But you're making this video, or this segment of this video, critiquing King Critical, and King Critical isn't arguing that it would be more or less polite or more or less appropriate. King Critical is making an argument about the essential nature of gender itself, right? So I don't think I do not recall in that context that you were talking about what was appropriate, how it was appropriate to act in public with respect to identifying people's genders. I recall you talking about the essential nature of gender itself, like what makes it so, what makes a gender identity valid versus wrong. And it seems like there are like criteria that would make a gender identity valid. Like, for example, if you're misinformed about the meaning of the terms that you're using to self-describe, right? Or maybe you're closeted, or you don't even know that, trans identities are a thing, as a lot of people growing up in conservative households do.
If you're misinformed about the way that it's described?
No, if you're misinformed about the meaning of the term, right? So like maybe you're not aware of the possibility of being non-binary. And so you default to I am a trans woman. Why? Because I am not a cis man. Because you think in your head, if you're not a cis man, you must be a trans woman. But there are other options, of course.
There are other options, but you don't know them, so you can't possibly identify as that yet. So in that moment, you are what you say you are.
Ooh, but that's
like
that's a little bit tricky though, Alec, because when I was younger, I didn't identify as gay.
Right.
Was I straight?
Oh,
I identified as straight, Alec.
Okay.
Okay, so there's your problem. Like you can be mistaken about whether or not a term you use to describe yourself. You can be confused about the meaning of that term. You can be at a part of your life where the things that would make that apparent or not apparent simply haven't manifested yet.
I understand where you're coming from. I guess the point I was trying to get across is I can't possibly know that unless you tell me or otherwise indicate it.
Oh, obviously, but that's
like it has to be a subjective piece of information that you get from the other person.
Yeah, of course.
And that is the best way to identify somebody.
That's the best way to identify someone from outside. But once again, you are critiquing King Critical. King Critical is not targeting whether or not it's polite to use people's preferred pronouns in public. King Critical is arguing about whether or not it is correct.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
Okay, I'm saying why it's correct though. If somebody tells you
no, you're talking about when you identify someone in a social setting from the outside, right? But that doesn't touch the question as to whether or not a trans woman is correct or incorrect when she self-describes as a woman. That's what King Critical's arguing about. So, like, everything we're saying here, like, I agree with you, but it's not touching the question. I don't think that's what the issue was in that section of the video.
King Critical was talking about how we as a society categorize people.
Right.
So the impression that I was getting was that he was saying, well, the reason that we do it this way, what he was saying was that trans people are ruining the way that we do it. And it's going to confuse us as to like, what actually is a woman? We don't know, because you can have all these different traits and still be a woman. I don't
remember that being his argument.
Well, that's not his exact argument. As someone getting at.
Well, I don't think so though.
Like a more societal prescription of
why. I disagree, because I think what King Critical is getting at, and by the way, just full disclosure, I'm on your side more than I'm on King Critical's side by a very wide margin.
I agree with you. I think you are.
Yeah, sure, but there's the question of how you behave towards people in public, trans people and cis people, etc. And there is a question of whether or not their identities are correct, right? Whether or not they actually speak to something true about themselves, or whether or not they are simply indulged. As sort of like a cultural nicety.
Things can be true at one point in your life and to some people, and then not true at other points in your life and to other people. Like, truth is subjective.
Explain.
So, for instance, let's take the closeted trans child, right?
Can I? Okay, I want to hear this one out. Then I want to go back to that previous thing because that was funny. But keep going.
Okay, closeted trans child, doesn't want people to know that, let's say she is trans, born male, identify, understands what it means to be trans, but doesn't want to come out as trans yet.
Sure.
Because she's afraid of the repercussions, okay?
Okay.
And so she identifies as he, him in everyday life.
Right.
And then somebody, with that understanding, genders that trans girl as a he, him, or as a young man or a sir or whatever.
Sure.
Now, in that person's head, they're not purposefully misgendering. So like,
I agree.
They're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they're just going off of the information that they have. And so the point that I was getting across is, like, in order to properly identify somebody's gender, the best way to do so is for that person, and I know that you agree with me on this, is for that person to tell you.
Yeah.
That's the only way that you can know for sure.
Of course. Do you recall?
It's like saying, "Are you depressed?"
Yeah.
Right?
Do you recall?
The only way I can know for sure is if you tell me.
Do you recall the argument that King Critical was making in that segment? Because I'm quite certain I don't. Maybe I was having a hallucinatory event during that segment. Maybe I misremember.
He was making, if I recall, if I understood him correctly, he was making the argument about how we categorize things in society, and why categorizations change over time, and why this one shouldn't be changing.
Yeah. But categorization doesn't refer to how we interact with people in the world. Categorization has to do with how we identify these categories, how we slot things, right? What sets do things belong to? Are trans women women, or is this something that we simply perform because we want to be nice, or we don't want to be socially punished for not doing so, right? So when King Critical is talking about how we as a society categorize things, it's really important that you understand that he's not talking about how we in society, walking around downtown, decide whether or not to call someone in a dress she, her, or someone in pants he, him, right? The point that's being made is like, there is this...
It's kind of about that.
No, it's not. There's this thing called language that he is treating as a single unity. And he's arguing, essentially, that the logic...
This thing called language.
There's this thing called language, right? And it's a logical system. And according to the
rules... You sound like you're being condescending. Can we stop with the condescension, please? Come on.
That's just my voice. I apologize. That's nothing I can do about that. It's just how I sound. I apologize.
Okay. It sounds condescending, just so you know.
I'm sorry. If you have language as a logical system, right? And the question is there a logical consistency with calling someone with these sets of biological characteristics female or a woman or not? And his argument is that there is essentially a logical contradiction in classifying trans women as women. He's arguing that we are saying something that is, if not untrue, inconsistent with other premises that we have accepted. Am I making sense?
Yes, you are, and I'm telling you why. I was telling him why it is true.
But what you've been arguing here, what you've been talking about here is not why it's true. What you've been talking about here is how we identify, how we talk to people in public.
It's true because they identify as women.
No, it's not. Once again, because you can misunderstand what the word woman means, right? So, for example, you can be a non-binary person. You can be a person who is not actually a woman if you have the full range of understanding of the concepts at our disposal societally. It just seems like you're
splitting hairs. I'm sorry. It seems like you're splitting hairs.
I am splitting hairs. These are important hairs,
What
though.
I was trying to get across, all I was trying to get across is why we, as leftists, at least I'm a leftist, I'm not sure what your exact political ideology.
Well, like apropos that previous point, I disagree with that statement. I don't think you're a leftist.
Why not?
I don't think you're a leftist because essentially you default to a kind of linguistic determinism, and I think fundamentally you're just not interested in actually criticizing your own categories and growing out of the stuff that you've been raised in. Like I think you have a hostility to. I think you have a hostility. No, just in general terms, I think you have a hostility to having your presumptions criticized, and I think you immediately get defensive when somebody brings up that, hey, you're not talking about this in a way that's, actually to the advantage of trans dignity, bluntly. Like the idea that the essential nature of gender is self-ascription is kind of horrific if you think about it for 5 seconds, because it means that every single person in the closet, it's basically the Brianna Wu stance, just without self-awareness. It means that every single person in the closet is not the identity that they are after they leave the closet. It means that your identity is constrained entirely by what ideas you have the happenstance to have encountered. If I never have a notion of gay people being a thing that exists, if I only think about it as perversion or pedophilia, as it has been thought for a very long time, then I will never identify as these things because I've got a whole bunch of other stuff that's coming in with it. And I'm more afraid of those things than I am attached to the stuff I want to do that's precluded by my society, right?
I just think that you're being extraordinarily uncharitable to my position here.
I think with all due respect, Alec, you're being defensive because I think you're feeling attacked.
Okay.
And
you can think that if you want.
I kind of know that. I think let's just calm down. Take a breath. I'm not trying to be condescending. I'm trying to be nice. I'm talking to you normally. Let's just calm down.
Chad, am I calm? I just want to make sure.
Chad, is he calm?
Let me know. I just like... So you think I'm not a leftist because you think I'm like what, against trans kids in the closet?
No, I think it's consistent with we've talked
to their detriment.
No. We've talked once before, right? Once or twice.
After my Jubilee performance.
Yeah, and we had a big conversation because
Jubilee performance.
Yeah. It was questionable, but I don't really care about that. What I was kind of astounded by is when you came on, you described your motives for going on there, despite not being prepared, as you just wanted to be like Vosh. You wanted to be a famous YouTube debater guy. And
I would say closer to Hassan at that point, but potato.
You took the words out of my mouth.
If you think about it,
you took the words out of my mouth. I mean, that's no, Hassan's not a pedophile, but like in all seriousness, though, like you're even now as we're speaking, like you're doing a thing to try to assert dominance in a conversation. You're not gonna get it. I also don't care. But it's a waste.
That's how conversation works.
No,
dude.
No, it's
you
not.
You insert comments sometimes. Yeah, it is.
Comments. I didn't talk about inserting comments.
To somebody? Have you ever?
Oh no,
you
misheard me.
Without, like,
you misheard me, Alec.
Smarter than
no, Alec. I didn't accuse you of inserting comments. Inserting comments is fine. You're fine. Okay. I don't mind you interrupting me. That's okay. Well, I didn't really accuse you of anything. What I was pointing out is that like you are trying in this conversation pretty transparently to try to assert dominance through presentation. You're not really engaging so much with the arguments.
Is it working? Chad, is it working? What do you think?
No, it's not working.
He thinks I'm dominant, guys.
I don't. I don't. I think you're trying. There's a big distinction there.
But, dude, I'm not trying anything, just so you know. I'm just trying to have a conversation with you. I think we agree on more things than we disagree on, and I don't know why you're playing this intellectual game with me. Like, it just seems like you want something to get upset at me over, and that's why you made up the AI bullshit.
Well, not really. I made up the AI bullshit.
When it's very easily disprovable.
Well, I didn't make up the AI bullshit. Well, I don't think it is actually. Bluntly, like what you said sounds like AI. Like it sounds like AI. And my response to this
means, but okay.
Well, my response.
I guess I write like AI then.
You kind of write like AI. Like you write like the lowest common denominator of people who have sort of a passing acquaintance with Reddit arguments.
You could have at least said, if this is not AI, like if you had said something like, "Oh, this sounds AI, but I'm going to, just." We don't know for sure, so let's give him the benefit of the doubt, guys. Okay. Like just something like that. Just a little charitability, like that'd be nice.
But here's the part that
I gave it to you.
Yeah, sure, but you don't. But here's the part that you're misunderstanding, Alec. And okay. I really, Alec.
Calm down.
If what you are, I am.
Take a breath.
I am very calm. If what you are,
okay.
If what you are writing sounds like AI, if what you are writing does not reach the quivering heights that AI can reach, you should have used AI, buddy, because you clearly don't know what you're talking about. And I'm not trying to be mean here. It's
thought I did.
I did.
You're backtracking.
I did.
But you're also saying that I didn't reach the heights of AI. It's inconsistent, man. Pick a lane. No, you can't insult me from both ends of the stick.
I can.
See, you had a second there. I'm just saying. Come on, what's your beef, brother? Let's drop this. Like, come on.
Why not? Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
So you're making a video segment criticizing King Critical about gender, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Would you indulge me for a second?
Sure.
Okay. What is performativity in Judith Butler? Do you know?
Performativity in what?
What is performativity as described in Judith Butler's Gender Trouble? Do you know?
No. I have not. Is that a book?
Jesus fucking Christ. Yes, it's a book.
Okay.
Okay.
I haven't heard of it.
Why?
Why what?
How have you not heard about this? This is like, you know, the King Critical.
Oh no, nobody told me. Now I know. What's it called? I'll look it up. I know now.
Okay.
You want to read it?
I did. It's a good book. You should read it. It's really good.
What's it called? I'll look it up.
Gender Trouble.
Gender trauma.
Trouble. Trouble. Like the board game.
Okay. Gender trouble. Feminism
trouble.
and the subversion of identity.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I'll look into it.
trans people aren't mentioned in this book, right?
Right.
Okay. But it's really important for gender studies generally. It's kind of like, it's like Kant's critique of pure reason for gender. You know what that is?
Okay. No. What'd you say it is?
Critique of pure reason.
Critique of pure reason?
You never heard of that?
No.
Okay. What do you... Okay. Hang on.
Did I have chat?
You should be aware of its existence.
This is the first I'm hearing of this.
If you're arguing about gender, you should actually be aware of its existence. If you're arguing about anything political or philosophical, you should be aware of its existence, I think. Okay. I'm a little bit curious. I'm not trying to just like being totally candid for a second. Like, what is your background? Like, how did you get here? Like, why do you do what you do? Why are you interested in what you're interested in? Why do you have the stances that you have?
Well, I'm a former conservative. I grew up in a conservative household, and I was pretty deep in it, Christian and all that.
Yeah.
And by the time I hit high school, I started questioning some things about religion. I'm just giving you the crash course, I guess.
Sure. What'd you question? What was the thing? What was the thing that made you go like, oh, this doesn't make sense? Like, and how was that?
It was more of a gradual process. Like, there were several points like that. Like, when I started questioning the Bible and God, that was one. In college, there was one where my ex and I had to get her an abortion, and I started questioning my pro-life stance.
Okay.
And
that's okay.
That was the biggest one.
Yeah. Can I stop you there? Sorry, I'm genuinely curious about this. So, that's usually a very traumatic event for a lot of people who grow up in a Christian household. You are facing for the first time in your life. Yeah, you are facing for the first time in your life the prospect that, oh, death is forever. Oh, there is no order or certainty to history or to whatever. And a whole lot of stuff breaks down. There must have been a thing. Like, this must have been an event for you, right? Like, for me, it was an event. Like, I had a panic attack one night. I thought I was going to die, and suddenly I started questioning a whole bunch of stuff, and I got really into Christian apologetics then, and I sort of moved up through philosophy and through like my university education, and eventually started questioning stuff. And I questioned stuff largely based on like associations I had and people I valued that I wanted to keep in my life, and so on and so forth. But like, these were events. I could tell you like down to the dot, like what were the steps that I took to get here, because they were super traumatic for me. I'm really curious about yours.
I was explaining that. I don't understand.
Oh, well, continue. I apologize. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, I did have some moments like that. Like, I just had one last year. You know, I broke down.
Really?
And like, yeah. Well, not in terms of politics necessarily, maybe a little bit. It was more of an understanding, I think. Just I had kind of an understanding a little bit more about like the nature of humanity. But you know, I could just be blowing smoke out my ass. I don't know.
What do you mean?
But,
can you elaborate on that? I'm curious.
I don't think anybody's fundamentally a bad person. I think that humanity is, you know, I used to think that, where it was, I didn't really, but like, I acted as though there are people that simply do bad things for the sake of being bad, you know, like, and I think that that's a negative way to look at the world. And so I don't know, like, I know that sounds silly, but it kind of reframed how I'm looking at other people. Like, I don't think Charlie Kirk in his heart of hearts was a bad person, but I do think that, you know, in the way that he was trying to be a good person, you know, that ended up being bad. You know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions and all that. I guess people have already come up with this idea, but like I internalized it for the first time.
So you thought Charlie Kirk had good intentions?
Well, sure. I think everybody has like, you know, I don't think anybody is like trying to be a net negative on the world. They just either overlook it or they think they're doing something good.
I disagree, but I think people can want to do.
You don't think that there are people like Charlie Kirk who are very blatant homophobes and doing bad things? And
well, once upon a time, as a gay dude who's been with a trans dude for a very long period of time, I absolutely was one of those. But here's the thing, though. People absolutely do choose to be bad for revenge. People become fed up,
right?
with...
But for revenge, right? So they have a justifiable reason. Therefore, they're the good guy. Nobody's the bad guy.
Well, you don't need to.
That's my point.
That's not necessarily true. You can deny the existence of good or bad guys, and you can still like decide that you want to make people who have made you feel weak in turn. Like sometimes.
Yes, but you don't.
Yeah.
But in a vacuum, you will find very, very few people, maybe like one or two in history, maybe a handful, who like legitimately just hurt people because they are wanting to make the world a worse place to live.
Why do you think
like
you'd know?
That's not a thing.
You say in history. Why do you think you'd know? With all due respect, I'm not trying to be condescending.
I'm just giving you a speculation. I don't think that that's like part of.
Oh no,
I
listen. No. I understand. I'm not holding you to this. It's just like the statement that when you look through history is an interesting statement because it suggests that you've looked through history. It suggests that you have a repertoire of. You got a bunch of data here, right? And you're like, look, dude, I've surveyed the stuff we got, and it looks like, you know, that these the numbers. Make sense? Why do you think you'd know?
That I would know what? That there's only like a handful of people that are like that in their heart of hearts. I can't know that objectively. I don't know what's.
Well, why do you think so then?
Because I know what's in my head, and I know that.
But you're one guy.
From me.
You're one guy.
Yes, and I can't know what's in your head any more than you can know what's in mine unless I tell you, right? So that's all I can go off of.
Yeah.
And so, like, if people are telling me,
yeah, go on.
If people are telling me that they're trying to do something good, you're not always going to believe them. Sometimes they lie. But even when they're lying about that, they think that they're doing so in a way that justifies their actions. You know, like they have justification for doing so.
I disagree. Like you may not have a notion that you need to justify your actions. You may have a notion that you've just been aggrieved and you just feel like you want to get back. And
That's a justification, man.
No, it's not a justification.
Yes. Okay, I'm just going to pretend that makes sense.
It does make sense.
Okay.
So, for example, let's say someone like hacked your bank account and I just stole your money with the code, right? At the end of this conversation. Why? Because I felt like I lost this debate and I wanted to make you hurt back. I may not feel like that's justified. In fact, I may even throw the fact that it's unjustified in your face as an expression of power and dominance, right? That's what Breaking Bad's all about.
In the moment that you're doing it, you at least feel some sense that I deserve it. That something bad has to happen to me.
Well, deserve is a complicated notion, right? You think that our primate ancestors had a notion of desserts? You've earned this on the scales. It's the plural of when you talk about what people deserve. You've heard the phrase "just desserts."
Yes, I have.
It doesn't mean it's just a meal with just whipped cream on it, right? It's like it means
learn something new every day.
There you go.
It is not just a dessert.
It's not just a dessert. Justice is a notion that there is an order that you have upset, right? It's the idea that there is a balance in the world. It actually historically it's sort of coeval with geometry in ancient Greece. I'm not going to bore you with that. But like the idea is that there is a way things should be and a way things should not be. Have you heard of Plato's Republic?
I've heard of it.
Okay, so you haven't read it though. So I'm gonna give you I'm gonna give you an undergrad education in the next 5 seconds. Okay. After this long, tortuous argument that is completely logically fallacious, Socrates, who is a dialogue character in the Republic by Plato, because Plato didn't actually write anything in his own voice.
He was a what character? Sorry, you got a little quiet.
I apologize. So Socrates didn't write. Plato wrote Socrates as a character in dialogues, basically plays that were just meant to be read. And so Socrates comes to the conclusion in the Republic that justice is when things occupy the space and do the things that they are supposed to do, and don't impede other things from occupying the space and doing the things that they're supposed to do.
Okay.
So the general idea is that justice is a fixed order of how things are supposed to be, and you are more or less just insofar as you conform to that order. You can sort of see how like early Christians and Muslims like got a lot out of this, right? Because it's very
Okay. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so suppose you don't have that notion, right? Suppose you're like a pre-Socratic, and you don't have a notion of justice in this way. Suppose you're like Homer, for example, and you don't have a problem with your heroes like Odysseus and like Achilles and whatnot, doing a whole lot of like cowardly, sneaky, duplicitous shit. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go. Like you don't have this notion of justified. You don't think that things need to be justified. You do things because you can and because you want to. Like, do you think our primate ancestors had a notion of justice, right?
Okay, but even cowardliness, right? There's a sense of self-preservation with that, right? That's the justification in your head.
Well, that's an intellectualization of a justification, but you typically just run because you're afraid. Nobody decides to be a coward.
I don't think that's true. I think that being cowardly can be a choice, but that's beside the point. I guess I don't know how we got down this rabbit hole to begin with. I don't know.
Okay, listen. General.
Trying to say,
go on.
All I was trying to say was that I had a bit of a breakdown last year, and then I came to some realizations about the world. At least I think that I understand things a little bit better, and now I'm here.
Sorry, I was being a dick. I apologize.
Okay.
You were saying that people choose to be cowardly. I never mind. Keep going.
Oh,
it's okay.
Well, I mean, we can talk about it if you want. I think that
I was rebounding to the Charlie Kirk thing, right? People absolutely do choose to do things that are vicious, and they intellectualize them as vicious when they do so. That's a thing. I was waiting for you to like tell me no, but go on. It's okay.
It's complicated, but I think that in his own way, Charlie Kirk did think that he was doing good things. Otherwise, I don't think he would have been doing them.
I don't think
the things that he was doing was justified.
I wouldn't go so far as to say that Charlie Kirk needed to think he was doing.
It's a difference in we can't know what was in his head, so it's just a difference of philosophy.
Well, we can know a little bit about what was in his head, but leaving that aside, like
we can know what he told us, and that's it.
Why aren't you curious about like what people who actually like talk about gender and actually like argue about this stuff as like their profession say? Like why are you? Because you will contribute to a video criticizing someone like King Critical, and that's his bread and butter. But you don't seem to have any fundamental curiosity about this topic. Like you don't know anything about it. Like you would find out, just to put this into perspective, you would find out about gender trouble if you did the barest preliminary research of looking through King Critical's own videos. But leaving that aside, like if you search gender, like books on gender on Reddit, it's going to come up every single page, more or less. It's like when King Critical says it's the Bible for trans ideology, quote unquote, that's wrong, but it's not unwarranted. Like it is the most influential book on how gender is talked about today. Virtually everybody else fades in comparison. If you don't know Butler, you absolutely don't know Fausto Sterling. You absolutely don't know Elizabeth Gross. You absolutely don't know Spellman, etc., etc. There's a whole lot of other people who are not there as well. It's like
I don't know. I'm a bit of a lazy guy sometimes. You know, it's not that I'm not that curious, but what?
No, keep going. It's okay.
Okay. It's not that I'm not that curious. I'm not that curious, to be honest with you. Like, I just see that trans people are suffering, and I want that suffering to be alleviated.
Conservatives are suffering.
You can advocate for them. Like,
Conservatives are suffering. These are miserable people.
In their own way, sure.
No,
But I
they
think the
are. They are.
conservatives
No. They are miserable. Their relationships are hollow. They are based on. They are based on. Hand me down.
You keep doing this, man. You keep doing
Keep
this.
doing what?
Like redirecting. You know what I fucking meant.
Man. I wasn't redirecting. I was reacting to a thing you
having
said.
A conversation without contradicting
I
somebody.
thought we were. I thought we were. I thought we were fine with
talking to you-
interjections. I thought we were fine with interjections. Stop trying to do the Vosh shit. Just talk. I'm not gonna eat your face. It's okay. I don't hate you.
If anything,
Alec, I don't hate you. I'm not out to get you.
Clone, but that's just me.
Ooh, now you're getting nasty.
I'm just saying.
Now you're getting nasty. What are your thoughts on actual Jake, by the way? He did a segment for that video too.
Oh right, I forgot he slammed your ass in a debate. I completely forgot about that when I said that.
Did he?
I was literally just combating the Vosh thing. I don't know. I like actual Jake. I think he's cool, but besides the point, I guess.
How did he slam my ass in that debate? Do you remember what the debate was about?
No, I just remember the feeling that I got of your ass getting kicked.
Uh-huh. Okay.
That's how I remember things.
Uh-huh.
So
your hat
anyway,
disagrees.
I should go back and revisit that though. It was entertaining.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess like it's not like I approach it from mostly a medical standpoint because that's my specialty. Is I'm a medical professional.
You approach
I'm
what
an
from?
RN.
Oh, slow down, cowboy. You approach what from a medical standpoint? You approach trans
rights
rights from a medical
from a
standpoint.
medical and scientific standpoint, and the reality is that is simply what the science shows is that transition care and gender affirming care is the best for trans people. And I was transphobic at one point, but I educated myself in medicine, and I eventually came to a point where I couldn't deny the evidence.
But the segment you submitted to that, but the segment you submitted to that video wasn't about that. The segment you submitted to that video was about the validity of trans identities.
But you said I don't seem curious about it. I'm just telling you
because you don't. I
probably would.
But I say you don't seem curious about it because you don't demonstrate like the barest level of knowledge. Like lay people who haven't read anything know about this stuff. It's like imagine if you will that you were submitting a video, a segment to a video criticizing the ideology of the Trump regime, and you had never heard ever of Peter Thiel. It's actually worse than that by a large margin. I just came up with that example off the top of my head. But like imagine never hearing of Peter Thiel.
Right.
Or never hearing of Curtis Yarvin. Like maybe you're talking about like JD Vance. Like what is the ideology of the person who is under the president? JD Vance. You've never heard of Curtis Yarvin or Peter Thiel. That's wild. You've never heard of like that's the level we're operating at here. It's like imagine if you had a channel where you were criticizing Christianity as like an atheist or a skeptic or whatever, and you had never heard of Aristotle or Thomas Aquinas. That's how wild it is that you don't know who Butler is or have never even heard of it. You know, like I'm taken aback a little bit.
Okay, you just don't seem that interested in like rectifying the problem.
What do you mean?
You seem more like you just want to get on my ass about it.
What's the problem?
And showboat your knowledge. You've
what's
named,
the problem? I'm not
12
rectifying.
Different books, man. Like
I've named. I think I've named 1, 2. I think I've named like 4 authors, and I think I've named 2 books.
Okay, I don't read enough. You're right. I don't, and I'm trying to fix that, and it's a process.
Cool.
All right.
I'm not down on you for not reading stuff. You're
got any book recommendations, man? Like if you know who I talk to.
We have a reading group in the server like almost daily. You're welcome to join.
Non-smoker is
who?
Non-smoker.
Do you know
heard of him?
Who non-smoker?
It's okay if you haven't. He's not a big shot or anything.
I haven't heard of
him. He's just a guy that's debated Dylan Burns before. So some people have heard of him. He's a Twitch streamer.
Okay.
And I talked to non-smoker, and we had some serious beef before that, and we had a serious heart-to-heart.
Okay.
Right. And I don't think that non-smoker's a bad guy. I disagree with him on a lot of things. He's a bit of a tanky, okay? But I don't think that in his heart of hearts he's a bad guy. He's doing his best to just make the world a little bit better, right? And we were able to understand each other, and he knows that I don't read, and he's made fun of me before.
But hang on.
Actually got down to it.
But I'm not making fun of you for not reading, though. Alec. I want you to understand this.
It just seems kind of like you are.
No, I don't. I think, with all due respect, I think you're a bit insecure about not reading because I think you should have a little bit. A little bit, right?
I should.
Okay,
Right,
I'm not
sure.
trying to get on your ass about this.
I think that's valid critique, man. And
but I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to talk to you, dude. I don't want to. There's no money, and there's no money in taking.
The impression I've got.
Alec, listen. There's no money in taking you down. I don't care. I need you to understand this. I do not care about beating you in a debate.
Channel.
We're not on the second channel. We're on the main channel.
Yeah, but you put me on the second channel before. A main channel.
No, I put all segments on the second channel.
Okay, never mind.
I try not to do drama on the main
I
channel.
did get a little insecure about that one. Sorry.
That's okay. I wasn't trying to slight you. Like, the reason why I have stuff on the secondary channel is because I'm trying to curate my content so it's mostly intellectual stuff. But
okay,
that's about it. Like, I'm trying to go like the sort of video essayist, like pre-prepared, not bullshit route. But look, I'm not trying to get on your ass for not reading. What perplexes me is that we have people. There are people who devote their lives to challenging handed down conceptions of how gender roles work, right? So, like, so you've never heard of Judith Butler before?
I have heard her name.
Okay. Do you know when she died?
No.
She's still alive. These people are actively.
Why would you mislead me then?
I'm explaining.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
I'm about to explain. There was a reason. I'm about to explain. These people are actively writing stuff. Like they're spending enormous amounts of time making material to educate and challenge problems with how we conceive these things that lead us into destructive loops, right? Societally. And when people like go out and debate this stuff using essentially the same arguments that you'll get from like shitheads in like Vosh's community, you salt the earth so that when people like King Critical come out to discredit them, they can attack those guys and not actually engage with the actual arguments. Which is very frustrating for people who are trying to actually do something, right? Now, this is all very small stakes. This video didn't get a lot of traction. I think it's still, is it under 10K views still? It may have breached it since I watched it. But like, it's not a big deal. Like, I don't care. But while I'm watching this, all I'm thinking is like, wow, imagine if all of these people tried. You know? Like, imagine if you tried. Imagine if instead of this conversation right now, you said, hey, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to read 30 pages of Butler, and I'm going to show how Sunday doesn't understand it.
You want my honest opinion? You try too hard. Okay, maybe I don't try hard enough, but I think you try too hard. You got to go with the flow sometimes. You're like very like, oh, here's this book, and you got to know this thing and that. Like, just chill out, man. Not everything's a fucking intellectual beef. Like,
I don't disagree. I don't think everybody needs to do this. I care about this stuff. That's why I do this.
Okay, here's my thing. One of the right's champions, like the alt-right, is Asmongold. Fucking Asmongold.
I don't think Asmongold is one of the alt-right's champions.
I'm not saying that gives... Huh?
I don't think Asmongold is one of the alt-right's champions. I think they kind of hate him.
Conservative.
No, I don't think so. I think he's a fucking gaming.
Come on, man.
He is a conservative. I'm not arguing with that, but like, he's a fucking gaming streamer who already had a big following to begin with.
The biggest. He's like the biggest political streamer on Twitch right now.
Sure, but that's because of how he framed himself as like that he was first a successful gaming streamer.
Okay,
right?
never mind.
It's like if Markiplier started glazing.
The point's going to be lost on you anyway.
No, go ahead. No, start from the beginning. It's okay.
No, the point's lost, man.
Why would the point be lost on me?
Why even bother?
Go on. Indulge me. Just try. All I ask is that people try.
All I was trying... We agree that he has a lot of views, right?
Sure.
He gets a lot of views? Okay, good. Okay. We're on the same page there. So Asmongold gets a lot of views, and he says a lot of shitty, conservative-aligned things, right?
Yes, I agree.
And a lot of people see that.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
Okay, so I think it's fair to call him a conservative content creator.
Sure.
I think that's fair.
That's fair.
Okay, great. We're on the same page.
Okay.
Alt-right, I don't know. Conservative, absolutely.
Alt-rights were specific. I apologize. I was reading you to the word. You can go on with what you were saying.
Okay. All I'm trying to say is He's a far right figure, and I do think far right is appropriate.
Sure, I agree. I agree.
Okay, and that's one of their champions. You know, like I'm
Sure,
not saying
why
that
not?
he's being like floated on Fox News or anything like that, but he pulls in a substantial amount of people towards the conservative side, and allows it and festers it, whatever.
Sure,
whatever he does.
Okay.
So, with that being said, I'm not saying that gives leftists license or people on the left license to do what Asmongold does exactly the way that he does it or anything like that, just in a leftist way.
Okay.
Okay. But what I am saying is this isn't necessarily like if you really want to impact something, it's not necessarily about how many books you read.
I agree.
Or how much you just know about the gender thing.
I agree.
Okay. Like one of my most famous moments is when I went up against Matt Walsh. And some people don't. What's the face, man? What's the face?
What? Whose face?
It just looked like you were making a face. I don't know.
I'm just focusing. I'm just
Maybe
paying
it's just
attention
your face. Okay.
Okay.
I guess like one of my most popular moments was when I was going up against Matt Walsh.
Okay.
Okay, and I did get a boost from Vosh because he watched it, and I'm glad for that. Okay, I owe a lot of my viewers to Vosh. A lot of them came from his community.
A lot of your viewers are pedophile. I got it. Okay, continue. Sorry, that was me.
I don't think he's a pedophile, and I don't think you
He
have.
He has pictures of kids fucking horses on his computer. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, well, I don't think those were kids, but whatever. So that aside,
you don't think those were kids?
I think
you looked at them. Did you?
It's art, man. It's fucking arbitrary.
Ooh, that's a different argument though. Were they kids or were they not?
No, I don't think they were.
What about
I don't
Poppy?
think that he was thinking that they were.
What about Poppy?
Okay.
What about Poppy?
Shut the fuck up, man. Why are we even talking about this?
What about
Shut
Poppy?
up. What
do you know who Poppy is? Do you know who Poppy is?
No, from what?
Poppy is
I know a Poppy from League of Legends.
Poppy is the girl that Vosh sexually harassed in DMs and then colluded with his moderators to silence afterwards. That's why he was kicked out of Destiny's community. Are you aware of that?
No.
Okay, maybe you should make yourself aware of that. That's a good project for you after stream is over. As you were?
Why are we still talking, man? It just seems like you don't like me. And that's fine.
Oh, I have nothing. I don't think about you at all. It's okay. You're not a thing I need to take down. It's okay. I didn't react to you. I reacted to a whole video with a bunch of people in it. I was looking through and like, oh, these people are going to give sort of tepid, not very organized arguments, but these couple are going to give really bad arguments. This is the fun content. That's all. Not trying to be mean. I'm just being straight with you. Hello? Oh, he disconnected. Oh, well. He ran. You didn't have to. I feel like I was being really nice in that conversation. Well, this is well timed because I gotta pee. I'll be right back. Well, that could have gone better. What's his channel like right now?
He made, if I recall, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. He made an assumption about how I was just born into my political views or something like that, and never was never challenged on it, or like I hate being challenged on things. And I disproved that, I think, pretty well.
By running from the call?
Because in a conservative household.
This whole call of yours was you being challenged on your views, and the fact that he even asked that to further challenge your views literally goes against that depiction, that belief, that idea. But what I'm saying is, right,
He looks very
that
upset.
it's foolish to believe that people are just born into their politics. On one hand, you could say that most people's politics are gonna more or less stay the same, based on like certain.
I want to see what the initial comments were after exit the call. Now
I'm
you're
just
getting
saying.
nasty. Now you're getting nasty. What are your thoughts on actual? Really, I am really quiet on his end. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah,
Not trying to be mean.
Yeah, I'm good on that. Bro's such a fucking dweeb for sure, man.
He's got 26 viewers right now. It's just silence.
Base non-drama enjoyer. Yeah, it got to a point. Ugh.
Do we want
to me, man?
Left this when I was younger, and now I became a conservative because it's the smart position. Like even
love that
even
one.
his yeah, exactly. Even his
I don't sound like
rivals
that.
might disagree with that, but again, like I said, his whole shtick is basically focused on this weird this anal interest in this myopic view of, well, you need philosophy to compound this and that. It doesn't work.
I didn't say that.
It's intellectual peacocking at its finest. Yeah. He's basically just doing what Jordan Peterson does. You know, and even worse than what he does, honestly, because Jordan Peterson, to his credit, you know, he wasn't like giving off the impression that he was coming down on other people for not being as smart as he was. You know, like he sounded smart specifically to do transphobia, but besides the trans community, like, but he wasn't coming down on the trans community for not being intellectual. Like, am I making sense?
Just coming down on the trans community because of his own biases and his own standards of what
who is this guy
ought to be versus what is, and that was one of the big problems with Peterson. He wasn't.
One of the things I do, by the way, is I surround myself with people who will tell me I'm being a fucking dumbass when I'm being a fucking dumbass. Never, ever commiserate with people afterwards telling you how good you did, because you will not grow from it. That is worthless information. The engagement is over. Talk to people who tell you what you did wrong.
Well, I'm all about the First Amendment. I'm all about free speech. And remember, he's Canadian. They don't really, if I remember correctly, their first speech protections aren't the same as the United States first speech protections. They have hate speech laws over in Canada.
My only point was, like, he had all this smug aura that Jordan Peterson has, and then, like, he was also snobby on top of it.
Sunday, you were a fucking dumbass for taking that call? Maybe.
No, like, he's like, oh, like he gives off this impression, he's trying so hard to be better than you, and he's just failing. And I wouldn't say that if it were just the attitude, right?
Right.
He comes down on you for not knowing the things that he does and that he says everybody should know.
I really don't think I did, though. I think I was kind of taken aback by the fact that you weren't like, people are casually aware of these people who don't know anything about this stuff. Thank you, Rosette Gillian. I appreciate that. People are aware of Butler in the same way it's like, I don't know how. I don't know how. Like, I legitimately don't know how you engage in gender debates. I don't know how you were in these circles of people and you've never even heard of these people. Like, that's wild to me. I don't understand it.
Maybe it's true that everybody should know it. Okay? That might be true. I'm not arguing specifically on that. What I'm arguing about is, you are not here constructively. You want to tear me down. Okay?
You wanted to call in. I specifically told you I don't want to tear you down. I have no. You got 28 viewers. I don't. There's no money in tearing you down, Gunter. You're not a player.
Hey?
Yep.
That's what you're trying to do, is tear me down for not knowing the things that you do.
Right. So when that topic got brought up, I said something because I like to ham fist my my quote unquote expertise in whenever I get a chance, because that's what you do with a college degree. I said,
Right.
okay, if we're going to talk about like dinosaurs or paleontology and whatnot, then should I expect someone to have read the entire Dilophosaurus monograph from start to finish from 2022?
No, but if they don't know what a stegosaurus is, you're going to raise your eyebrows a little bit.
Why expect
Right.
someone to
Well-
understand Napoli's paper from last year about the validity of nanotyrannus? Should I expect anyone to have read Franz Kafka's paper?
At Peter Super Chatted $5. It's people who want the standard to be low. They don't want to address the problems, they want a job. An easy job.
Probably, but I mean, he to his credit, he called in. Like, he could have ignored me. That's not an easy job. Now, granted, again, 27 concurrent viewers. Maybe he's desperate for coverage. I don't know, but should we rate him afterwards? Give him a little boost?
Paper back in 1939, involving that one turtle that reminded him of his gay lover's ass. I don't expect.
I don't even want to know.
People to straight up read all these papers to have a love of dinosaurs or to understand evolutionary theory.
Yeah, let's rate him, okay? We'll rate him in like if he's still alive in an hour, we'll rate him. Dear God, let's go watch some Hutch. Or actually, Aiko's live. I'll send you to Aiko.
I just expect people to at least have some interest, and then want to expand that interest
Wonder if Morbid's
into
live.
understanding more in-depth stuff, or at the very least listening to people way more qualified than even myself about these kind of subjects.
To be as charitable as possible, he was like, I am willing to believe that is a book that a lot of that a lot of people have read on my side of the
I'll buy you it. I'll buy you a copy. I will buy you if you will commit to read the first chapter, I will buy you a copy.
And that I should read. I'm willing to believe that. Okay? Maybe that's entirely true. It's like what, the Gender Bible or whatever? Like maybe I should have read it.
It is not the Gender Bible.
Sure. I can accept that. And maybe that would spur me on to go read it. And an honest actor, right? If he were honest, that's what he would do is he would say, "Oh man, like geez, like, I'm just surprised you haven't read it. Like, here, it's a good book. You should read it. It's got a lot of information in it. Like, it'll teach you a lot of things. You should be positive about it. You should we should be, as on the left, trying to build each other up, not eat each other. Like, what are you talking about? We're supposed to be eating the rich."
Yeah, but it's not just that. It's not just that. Like, I'm not against people reading more high class, highfalutin stuff. Like, again, as you said, everyone should be reading as much as they can in order to have at least a more grounded understanding of the stuff that they talk about. But on the other hand, you also got to remember that at the end of the day, with what was that guy's name? Critical.
King Critical.
The guy you were responding to.
Oh, King Critical.
Yeah, King Critical. King Critical is not citing philosophers. King Critical is not.
He is, though. He's just citing them badly.
Not citing scientific inquiry or academic work involving what is a woman, what is a man.
He literally does, though. He's got multiple videos on Judith Butler. That's why I was confused. Because if you're making a video responding to King Critical, this is a primary target.
But not because all that stuff would literally go against his own values. People like King Critical and many other conservatives are
At SmithBlack5945 super chatted $5. Alex fell into the same trap as Wicked Supreme in not knowing key things about the thing he's interested in.
Oh my god.
Drama.
I think this one went a little better than that, though.
Focused on common sense doctrine. They are more focused on what they view with their eyes and then affirm these beliefs and bigotries and ideas on what they affirm with their.
Oh yeah, Alec is smarter than Wicked Supreme. I'll grant him that much. We're not setting the bar high, but he's definitely smarter than Wicked Supreme. It's frustrating, because I don't think there was any reason why there couldn't be an interesting conversation there, or like a positive one. It's just he was so insecure. I don't know how to break through that. I don't know how to break through people who go into a conversation going, hey, I'm going to do the Vosh shtick, and I'm going to win. It's like, I don't know how to do... I was trying real hard.
Own, assumptions, and then try to build a philosophy on those assumptions. Most people, if you're going to respond to them with, like, philosophical quotes and whatnot, they'll just see that more like salad, word salad. Like, no one cares. I'm not saying that philosophy is bad. I'm not gonna say that. I am saying that word drivel only works so far. But what you need to do is focus more on the analysis of everything. You need to focus on the data. You need to focus on the information that affirms whether or not a position is true or false. The citations of papers and not surveys, but the citations of like papers and case studies, especially in your field because of your.
Sunday, do you know the guy talking to Alec? No, I have no idea who this is.
Thing that right? And honestly, another thing is, he was insulting me about my lack of curiosity. I could do the same thing for him about his lack of drive to teach people, to educate.
Yeah.
This is a good opportunity for Sunday to educate, and he didn't.
You were telling me I try too hard.
He chose not violence, but he chose word violence.
I wasn't insulting you. The thing I was trying to get at was like, why are people making videos on this topic who have no curiosity or interest in this topic? That's interesting. That's an interesting question.
Right. So there was something oh my God, I can't believe I'm remembering. He was talking about how, what was it? It was during the part where he said that you didn't know what it's like to be trans, or you don't know what transness.
Definitely insulted. That's insane.
Is because of.
Hey, look. If anyone like from Alex's community, all 20 of you, if you guys want to call in and critique my performance, you're welcome to. I'm interested, but no pressure.
That's it. I think it was about application of terminology.
What?
And then he brought up the fact that at one point in his life he considered himself straight, even though he had gay predilections.
No, because I didn't. All children consider themselves straight.
And then later on, affirmed that he became gay.
People don't realize that until much later. I'm sure there's rare exceptions, but like generally, like people don't engage with that area of life until it imposes itself upon them.
Later down his line, the issue with that to me is that when you're thinking about,
you could have gone easier, not worried about bringing up Vosh. That was like a gentle ribbing. That's not even him. That's some other guy. That should not have been the thing. It's weird to me that was the thing.
Something like
By the way, here I'll indulge in a little uncharitability. The fact that me pointing out that Vosh sexually harassed someone, which by the way he admitted, this is a thing he has admitted to. The fact that me pointing out that Vosh sexually harassed someone and that he should look into it is what caused him to end the call says a lot. It says a lot. He wants to be friends with Vosh. It's kind of obvious. It says a lot. I don't have any respect for that. I don't have to be charitable towards that. I actually kind of have a duty to not be charitable towards that. That's gross. I'm sorry.
Identity and one's sexuality and gender what's it called? How you display your gender. All you can do, right, is take a person's word at that time and how they behave or how they respond, at the very least to you, to affirm that position. If a trans woman,
what was he saying before this? I don't care about this. This is
source here, by the way. On February 19th, 5 days after the report was filed, DSS closed the case. Unfounded, no evidence of medical neglect, no evidence of mental injury. Nothing. So just to recap, a teacher had a 10-minute conversation with a 14-year-old. Anyway, Alec Gunter, Jesus Christ. You didn't hear that other one. What's up? Hello, Lucy. How you doing?
Sunday Lucy he wants to call in. Sure, why not? And we got Richard too, why not? Hello.
Hello?
How are we?
I'm okay. I'm calling in as one of the contributors to the collaboration, as I hope the person that gave the topic.
I think yours was fine. I think yours was fine. I skipped it because the whole thing bored me, and it's not your fault. But what I saw of yours was fine. I think I saw like 10 or so minutes of yours.
I understand the argument that it might have been better, but it was also a pretty good opportunity in taking the advice you said to collaborate with the.
I don't have an issue with you doing that video. I just think the video itself, as framed by the person who published it, was a mistake. I think it would have been better to have like a coordinated series of individual videos. Yeah, but I don't have an issue with you. I think you were fine.
Yeah.
Was Alec Gunter the main coordinator?
No. It was Cirrus.
It does actually sound like an interesting idea to have like a bunch of videos and then a discussion about it.
Well, there's two reasons why you'd want to do that. First is that you have like communities actually networking instead of just one sort of novelty collaboration video that drags on, doesn't really have like a really strong focus. The second thing is when one of you makes a mistake, the rest of you don't have to own it, right? By making it all one video, it makes King Critical look like this big bad guy that like this is a serious figure, guys. He's got a big takedown video, but also it's like when there's an error in one part, you now have to account for why you're in a video that says things that you don't believe in, and that sucks.
And so. I guess I do. Part of me does because I often do that, and then I get flack for it when. I do kind of agree that Critical is a bit of a dumbass and kind of was treated a bit seriously, if that makes sense. And I do sometimes watch people on my stream and just says, okay, this person's just an idiot, just sort of comes out. And then I get a flood of their viewers saying, oh, you just said this person was an idiot. But there is one thing that I slightly disagreed with you when you said when you were discussing a closeted person. Okay. Because technically speaking, I'm closeted in a lot of situations, right? Sure. I'm kind of have to be a guy when it comes to a lot of journalism related work, when it comes to the publisher that I work with, because Poland is the worst country for LGBT in the entirety of Europe. I think only Belarus and Russia beat Poland when it comes to the anti-LGBT sentiment. Yeah. So basically, I operate under my dead name when that might change because they seem pretty progressive on things, but we'll see. In Ukraine, strangely enough, I actually work as Lucy and people just roll with it without asking much questions. But that's neither here nor there. But I feel like when you're closeted, you kind of still identify as the thing that you identify.
Oh, I see.
Just present differently.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I'm. That's actually a good point. I think there's a difference between someone who goes into the closet pragmatically, and someone who has never come out of the closet before. And someone who has never come out of the closet before, like, has not begun that may not have begun that process of discovery of like, oh, I'm not a woman, I'm non-binary, or I'm not non-binary, I'm a woman, or something like that, right? Yeah. I think that's more or less what I was trying to get at. The point isn't so much that like when people like go in the closet, their gender identity disappears. The point is that just as you have to learn language, you have to learn the terms in which there is such a thing as a gender that you can quote unquote be or have, right?
Yeah. And you can also be in denial.
Sure, but well, even in denial though, you have to be aware of it. So that's a level of sophistication that I'm not granting in this case. But yeah, I agree with you.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I think the point you were making, I think the point you were making was about people who have never come out before. They don't even have a single person that they can be.
I think I'm coming around to the idea that closeted is not the right word. I think it's I mean, some of them are closeted, but I think the main thing though is it's like
questioning.
It's people who haven't said to themselves, "I am X," right?
Yeah.
Or haven't like gotten to a point where that's like a thing they can entertain.
I mean, I think I've gotten through all those stages personally. Like when I was very small, I kind of acted in a certain way, and my grandmother, who had a very strange relationship with me, all of a sudden said, "Oh, if you want to be a girl, then we have the technology to just do it." You know, and I thought at the time that she was just mocking me, so I aggressively denied it.
Interesting.
Right? But it's a thing. And yeah, on the other hand, there was a part when I was sort of kind of a bit agreeing with Alec Gunter, but I have to say to everybody listening that I strongly disagree with the with going with the flow. Okay, I don't just go with the flow, please. I don't think that's a good thing to do, to just go with the flow. And you know, when it comes to such subjects, you should do some.
What did you what did you agree with Alec on?
Gosh, just a little.
You're trying to be diplomatic, aren't you?
When he was, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you should go with the flow. I mean, I struggle with it myself. I have a ton of books to read.
Lucy, what do you agree with Alec Gunter on? Well, let me reiterate this thing I disagree with. Okay, gotcha. Okay, that's fine.
Well, I kind of, I guess, partially agreed with what he was talking about. I guess it's tied with the causative thing that I was talking about.
Okay, I don't think that was really what that segment of the video was talking about, though. It's okay. I'm not going to push on it. It's okay.
But I do
Pippa asks, is it important if someone hasn't said to themselves, "I'm a woman," then you don't treat them like one? Simple. Sunday's argument seems to posit some true essential identity behind the person. No. The question, though, is if somebody is positing that there is a true essential identity behind the person, and they're using the fact that people linguistically situate themselves as women or men at a certain time in their lives, or are situated as such by other people at a certain time in their lives, then therefore they are fixed as that thing, then it actually behooves you to really have an understanding of like, hey, what is the history of this idea, this concept? What is the history in each individual case of why these people came to identify as such and such? Because, for example, it's perfectly plausible in a hypothetical alternative universe in which all of history went basically the same except for the misogyny part. And so people used man and woman as categories simply designating what organs you have in a particular types of organs, but they don't have any bearing whatsoever on your social role or on how you dress or on who you associate with or how, and so on and so forth. And so we use these terms, and they are genderings, but they're not genderings in the same way. We just don't care about them like that. Like, you wouldn't need a feminism if women were not subjugated. Period. Right? The category woman is itself a subjugation, but there's a flip side to this also, where it's like, well, also we now have cultural styles that have developed as a result of this, and we human beings, just as we have incorporated our language and our technology into our very biology, quote unquote, including our notion of biology, like we are also like composited, if you will, as like things that are more actively described as X as opposed to Y.
That kind of subjugation.
Sweet. Sorry, my apologies. Thai food just arrived.
I guess that sort of subjugation ties into the arguments that are actually being made by people that oppose trans identities, because there's a whole bunch of history that kind of doesn't get discussed right now. The separation to the public sphere, which was considered the man's sphere, and the home sphere, which was considered the woman's, which gets a bit, it sounds insane when you discuss it, but there's this book that I read. It was The History of Sex Work in the Polish subjugated part of the Russian Empire, and I know that America had similar history. That basically any woman that spent too much time on the street doing anything, going groceries, just walking around, going on a stroll, if they were seeing on the street for too long for someone's liking, the police would just come, oh, you're a sex worker, you're coming with us. Because the outside was just not the place for women. That was the public sphere. That was the sphere of men.
This is one of the reasons why I recommend people very highly Volatile Bodies by Elizabeth Gross, and there's an essay called Woman as Body by Sarah Spellman. It's Sarah Spellman, right? I keep wanting to call her Elizabeth Spellman for some reason. Sarah Spellman, very, very good. Highly recommend.
Yeah. I read the Polish author about the history of sex work. But
hey, folks, I'm gonna put it up to auction, okay? Over the next 10 minutes, we're gonna decide who we are rating. It'll be either Aiko or it'll be Alec Gunter. Whoever donates the most.
Read me.
Nah, you're on here already. You're double dipping. Whoever donates the most, with whoever's name wins. Okay, that'll be how it goes. Alec Gunter or Aiko rules. I'll have you on again, Lucy. That'll be your reward. There you go.
Okay. But the thing is that also people like King Critical forget, and that is a thing that was big in Poland, for example, that there was no single. I even said it in the whole thing and the whole reply to him and the.
It is Elizabeth Spellman. It is Elizabeth Spellman. Okay, so I'm just losing my mind.
Yeah, that's what you've been saying the whole time.
Oh, for the long time.
It is Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah. See, Alec, if you knew this stuff, you'd have gotten me. Sorry, go on.
For a long time in Polish, the Polish language, there was no single word for woman. There was no such thing as a word for woman. You had different words for people in different social roles. Like there was a word for wife, there was a word for like a noble lady, there was a word for basically people who like what we could call women now wearing a white piece of clothing on their head. That was one word that was used, white-headed. There were those different words. And when the word woman emerged, at first it was a pejorative. It was considered an insult because the word derives from the pig's den, and noble ladies were insulted when they were called a woman.
Interesting. What's the source for that?
There is a couple. It's basically considered a part of the history of the word.
Shoot me.
Of the word. In Polish, that is, in Polish.
And okay, you're specifying Poland, right? That makes sense.
Yeah, Poland. I am specifying.
No, right. Sorry, my brain's not working. That part of the equation like checked out of my head. I was like, oh, that's weird. I didn't hear about that. But that makes sense. It's Polish.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
It's in Polish. No, that was not the case in English. I think that's a very specifically Polish thing. That there was no woman, kobieta. That's the word, and it partially comes from the word that describes a pig's den. Therefore, it was derogatory. It was actually very deliberately turned into a neutral term in the 19th century by writers, etc. And now we have it. So, that's also a bit that King Critical will not know because he is I assume, only focused on the English-speaking sphere, and he doesn't really care about anything else. Right?
Yeah. Okay. Hey, I gotta go eat drunken noodles.
You should eat more Vietnamese food. Vietnamese food is good.
Vietnamese food is very good. I like Vietnamese food.
Yeah, I've been to Vietnam too, twice. I'm a spiritual Vietnamese person, considered by my best Vietnamese friends, who I've known for 28 years now.
Wow.
Richard, did you have anything you wanted to say before I boot you all?
Yeah, but it can be while you're eating. It doesn't need to be on stream.
Okay, it can be on stream if you want, but that's totally fine.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about like, I guess your side and your goals with the conversation you had with Alec, and also like the first question was about, like the kind of place that you think that he has in the movement or in YouTube?
Small. Like as far as my goals for the conversation, I was just trying to have a conversation. I was just trying to be nice as possible. I have a way of talking. I'm sorry. It's like when he was like, "Oh, you're trying to be condescending." It's like I really am not. So fuck, I guess.
I have a similar problem where people accuse me of being condescending when I don't mean to be, but then because I've gotten this from so many people, I feel like it's has to be true to a degree. And I think you might have a similar issue because I've seen people.
I don't get that.
Be like that.
I don't get that vibe from you. I think you're pretty good. But I'm a weirdo.
I mean, you
so.
were sarcastic in a few moments, weren't you? I feel like
Sarcastic? Yeah, sure, but that doesn't mean you're being condescending.
Like when you said that his thing might have been better if he did use.
Oh yeah, but that's not condescending. That's just mean.
That's just yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, look. President Sunday was trying to be nice. Okay, important, big, thick asterisk right there.
Why were you trying to be nice?
I don't know, man. Some people have convinced me that it's nice to be nice. I don't know. I don't want to bully this guy. He's got nothing, and I don't get anything from bullying him. Like I just wanted to talk. Like if he says
feel like he could have he could have not taken things personally as much, but at the same time you did start off by saying like that AI writes better than him, so he might have that ship might have sunk immediately.
The AI the AI would have written better than the presentation that he gave, which was and to be clear, I think it seems like his script was a cumulative effort, like other people submitted stuff, and I would be very surprised if people weren't formatting that with ChatGPT, just because of the way it was spoken. It was like okay, and if it's not, it's like, well, then it may as well have been, you know. And that's just my take on that. And the overall thrust here is like, for me, like I don't consider you use ChatGPT to be an insult. It's an accusation of laziness. An insult would be. The insult was ChatGPT would have done it better. That's an insult. It's not really intended as an insult, but it's like, I don't think he has any curiosity or interest in this topic. I don't think he cares about it. I think he was excited because other lefty creators DM'd him, and I think other lefty creators DM'd him because they ran out of names. Because, like, no offense, Lucy, but you're not exactly like a massive audience person. So it's like when people are looking for people to contribute to this.
Streamer.
Yeah, and so is Alec. So it's like, I think Cirrus was just grabbing anybody she could get, and I think she doesn't like me for some reason. So that's.
It was actually Alec Gunter that got me to that collab.
They're that's weird. That's weird. They're still talking to me.
He
apparently,
wasn't giving book recommendations. He wasn't saying, "Hey, Alec,
Serious?
here is how
No,
you can
Alec, I'll
make your
share.
content better." Okay, and what gave it away, by the way, is the fact that he, talked out of both sides of his fucking face when he said like, "Oh, this sounds AI generated," but then he says, "Oh, it also doesn't sound like it rises to the what he said prowess."
How many
of
viewers
AI
are
or
there?
whatever.
25. 25.
And I'm just like,
the heights of AI.
Yeah, the heights of AI. I'm like, first of all, ew, I hate AI. Second of all, that doesn't make any fucking sense, man. Like, all you're trying to do is condescend to me.
No, because the format of the writing...
No.
The format of the writing was incredibly stilted, and it sounded like something ChatGPT would generate. The content was essentially a Vosh tier argument. So if you had asked ChatGPT to give you a really good rebuttal to this argument, it would probably be drawing on Reddit posts that go into depth in this stuff. It would give you better answers than you gave. That's what I'm saying. President Misgender Day? Who did I misgender?
And I do think that's...
Who did I misgender? I'm talking about Alec when I say he. I said she, referring to Cirrus.
That's the only
you
way
did
that makes
misgender
sense.
Judith Butler like an hour ago.
Judith Butler says she or they.
Oh, really?
Yes, she said she's fine with she or they. Obviously, she prefers they, but that's hard. And, like, someone needs to think about the white cis guys every now and then. Look, Cirrus is a guy?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, that's fucking false advertising. Anyways.
It's the only consistent pattern throughout that entire dialogue.
Sir. Okay, fine.
Is that he was trying to condescend to me and flex his intellectual muscles.
Okay, Cirrus is a guy. I'm sorry. I'll be right there. I'll be right there. I gotta go very quickly. Cirrus has it's a giant.
Yeah, we already had this conversation.
It has huge tracts of land. Like, come on.
I will see that he's
Cirrus
probably
has
smart.
big man boobs.
It's just like that got those like people who dress up to look like women cosplaying.
Yeah, but if people call them she, you're not going to go, what the fuck are you, what did you just say, you bigot? It's like, no, you did.
Yeah, no.
What are you saying, you bigot?
Harder than me. Sure. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Does Alec know that you've been watching him?
No.
Of how to add to that. And like,
sorry,
yeah,
I'm not yelling at you. I'm just like, come on.
No, it's okay. I will kind of push back and say that there was no attempt to on the fact that there was no attempt to educate. I do think that President Sunday has a genuine interest in wanting people to be more educated. Which is why I think he did push back.
If he does, he's going about it very poorly and demonstrating, if you can believe this, poor emotional intelligence and social intelligence. You know, understanding how to reach people.
Yeah. Yeah, and I will say that the way he goes about it sometimes just flat out does not work.
Sure, I can accept that he has poor.
Sorry,
I keep cutting you off.
It's okay. No, it's okay. I don't mind. But the reason that he does, the reason that I'm trying to get at, the reason that he does the things he does is I believe, because he wants more people to be educated about stuff. He's genuinely interested in educated in. We're talking about somebody who's spent considerably more amount of time reading and educating themselves on a subject and I think the average person does, and I think that's an admirable quality.
Sure. I think you're right. I think that President Sunday has put a lot of effort. Like, when he was talking about other people, he was really talking about himself. Let's be real. Like, he thinks that he has put a lot of effort and a lot of time and a lot of energy into this topic, and that...
No, I was talking about Judith Butler, actually.
It's probably true. Okay, I don't know for sure, but I would venture a guess that he has spent a lot of time digging into this stuff, and I respect him for that. I do. I think that takes a lot of grit, and I have not taken the time to do that, and I think that that's a shortcoming of mine. Sure, I can accept that. Mm-hmm. What I don't like is that he lords that over people.
I do not. Okay? Do I lord this over people? First of all, haven't written.
I wish that Alec would spend a little bit less time talking about what you did wrong and more time taking the criticism to heart. Like the feeling sorry for himself here is embarrassing to me.
Look. Okay, if Alec takes one thing from this, here's the great thing, Alec. It's actually not that much reading. And it's not that hard. We have a reading group almost every day in the server. We'll be doing them more as I get more involved again. We've been dealing with a crisis on my end, IRL, so stuff slowed down a little bit. But you can get through a lot of this stuff in a week. Like if you did 30 pages of Butler, maybe actually keep saying 30, probably closer to 45. You do 45 pages of Butler, 45 pages of Foster Sterling. You're in pretty good territory. You've done more than 99% of people have. That's pretty good.
Listen, your audience seems to think that you're lording over it a bit. From what I'm seeing in the chat.
I don't think I lord it over people. I think I typically criticize people for talking about stuff with confidence, with stakes, when they very clearly haven't done like the basic due diligence at like an entry level. Because if you're doing that, that's a basic failure of responsibility, right? I don't think that's lording it over people. That's like saying that, oh, you have a driver's license? Oh, look at you, Mr. Big Shot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I find that weird. Like that's
I mean, that's fair, but I feel like there's a way to communicate it more that is amicable. If that makes sense, you know? Like by saying that maybe someone is...
He was defensive when he came into the call. I wasn't going to be argumentative with him. I just wanted to talk.
I do, however, strongly disagree with the opinion that one should just go with the flow and not try to harm.
We know you told us that already.
Yes.
Twice.
But I do also think that there's a way to spring the honey.
Okay. Hey, look. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna make it so he doesn't even have to read it. Okay. I'm gonna make a video that explains the basics of Judith Butler, like the basics. Nice. All right. And then even people who can't read it, who just don't have the time, which is fair. I say this like all the time. Like, I don't think it's people's job to read. I made a critique video of who's that guy? Who's that tanky guy who's like Hakeem. I made a critique video of Hakeem years ago, specifically going like, hey, people don't actually have to read theory to be leftists. Actually, there are particular like luxuries and particular institutional supports that allow people to read as a thing for a long period of time to be competent in like super complicated stuff. That is not a mark of their intelligence. It is a mark of privilege and a mark of particular types of access. And even if you're a low income person, it is luck and privilege that allows you to have the time to do that, because there's a whole lot of stuff that could have prevented it. People don't need to do this stuff. I have been saying this for a very long time. I have never lorded it over people for having read stuff, because I am privileged to have time to do so. So I really reject that characterization. I'm very specific about this. Like, the role of people who read stuff and are on YouTube is not to bully people for not reading stuff. It's to tell them how to do it more efficiently, to make better use of their time because they have less of it.
Sure. Yeah.
I think that's what I do. Like, even with the Wicked Supreme thing, the reason why I was pointing that out is because this guy was essentially defending conservative talking points on the basis that, well, you know, I'm a YouTuber, so like our role is to be like sort of like open-minded and intellectual and sort of like weigh ideas and things like that. So I was like, hey, why don't you show me the barest evidence that you've ever taken an interest in ideas at all? Let me do a big cross-section of literally every single major ideological position that is discussed today in your country, and he had nothing. I think that's relevant. It's like, oh, you're critical of Islam. Can name one surah, right? You know?
Right. Oh yeah, there was one other disagreement kind of that I had with you, but that's about a total different video.
Okay, good. I gotta go eat. Hey, have a good night, everyone. Should I send you to Gunter or should I send you to Aiko?
To
Gunter would be
Alec
funny.
Gunter to
I'll send it to Alec Gunter, okay? Guys, go be nice. Hey, be nice. Do not be rude. Do not be rude to Alec Gunter. Be nice. Okay? You all know Aiko already. You can go watch Aiko instead if you want to watch Aiko. You don't need me to send you there. Aiko's live, by the way. All right. Have fun.